So Coinbase today reports earnings after the market closes, and I wanted to share kind of like what I've learned about it so far. So let me start sharing my screen. I was looking at previous times that it reported earnings. I just looked at August 3rd, 2023. So we could see here that on August 3rd, you guys could see that it says August right on over here. August 3rd, after the market closed, it reported earnings. It was already selling off for the previous couple of days, so that's something that I do want to take into consideration where market sentiment for that current given period is important. It gapped up to highs of 100 and then quickly retraced and continued to sell off for the days that followed. Then the following earnings was November 2nd, 2023. So let's go ahead and fast forward to November 2nd. Let me go ahead and see if I could pull it up. So here we have October. Should be able to pull up November here pretty soon. All right, November 2nd. So November 2nd is right on over here. And it's after the market closed. So you guys can see that it says 11:02, right? After the market closed, we gapped up and then quickly gave it all back. But again, now the market sentiment was different here. At the end of 2023, we were seeing a lot more bullish activity where it was forming higher highs and higher lows above that EMA. And that's essentially what we continued. Although we did pull on back, it found its support and then quickly continued to recover. So now it kind of takes us to the point of like, okay, well, now we report earnings on February 15th, which is today after the market closes. And how is the market going to react? Well, let's talk about the market's expectation. The forecasts are significantly higher than what we've seen in the past before. Look at this. With the earnings per share, we came in at an expectation of a loss of 55 cents per share, and it really only lost about 1 cent per share. Quite impressive, right? We expected $650 million in revenue, and it came in at 674. But look at this jump. From our expectation of 650, even from what was reported, we're now in the 800s. That is an insane jump. That's a 20% jump, right? And the same thing with its earnings per share. Now we don't expect it to be negative. Now we expect it to be positive. So again, a very significant, very different type of earning reports. So why is there this market expectation? I mean, I'm sure you've seen it in the past couple of days. Coinbase has kind of changed the way that it's been trading, at least for the past 2 days. And the reason why is, other than the error that was shared this morning, there was this error that was saying that Coinbase was upgraded by Morgan Stanley or JP Morgan, and that was not true. It was reported as neutral, right? It was one of the analysts, but it got reported as a buy because they valued it at like, I don't know, it was like $150 a share or something like that. But from 150 to 170 of the current trading price, very, very different. But the big focus that coin and the reason it's been moving up so much is originally we've seen a lot more buying activity because of that spot Bitcoin ETF approval, right? Once it got approved, it kind of retraced. As you can see, it went from highs of 184 and pulled on back to lows of 114, but then quickly began to cover its ground. And then in the past 2 days, it went from lows of around 143 to highs of 170. That is a 22% return in just 2 days. Why? What has been factored in? That's the question. What has been factored in? And it's higher or better than expected earnings. Crypto, Bitcoin, has been performing exceptionally well for the past few months. So it's to be expected that if crypto activity has been performing very, very well for Q4 of 2023, which is about to be reported, then most likely what is about to be reported for Coinbase, right? Because Coinbase is a crypto trading platform, it's to be expected that this is going to come in way better than what is expected, which is currently what is being factored in with coin. It's a weird way to think because normally in the real estate market, things get factored in after, interest rates begin to go up. It's like an effect, an influence that happens after. The stock market, it's before. And if this expectation is not met, then what do you think is going to happen? Most likely a correction, right? Correcting itself back to a more realistic price point because of what was factored in advance due to previous expectations is no longer there. But if we come in as expected, then maybe we could still see a little bit of a rally. If we come in way better than what is expected, let's say that it completely blows its expectation for its earnings out of the water, then again, we can continue to form these higher highs and higher lows for coin. The thing that I wanted to share with you at the very end is Cathie Woods, which is ARK Investment, sells Coinbase shares for first time in months. She sold $34.3 million worth of shares, and this was reported yesterday, February 15th. So why? Why would someone like Cathie, that was so actively investing in something like coin, sell $34 million in just moments before this company is about to report earnings? That really began to kind of like get me to scratch my head, because it's had an amazing performance recently. And just like the past few months, it's gone from lows of $70 per share, as you can see down here, to all the way to highs of what we are now of 170, right? So let's go ahead and do that math. From 70 to 170, that's a 140% return. Now, does she think that it's not going to meet expectation? Does she know something that we don't? Does she think that it's overvalued based off of recent patterns, that she'd rather take profits, wait for it to retrace, and then maybe buy back at more realistic price points? That really began to kind of like concern me, because I was like, what does she know that we don't? Right? With everything that everyone is expecting, the market is factoring something in advance, and she holds such a large position in coin, and yet she decides to sell moments before Coinbase is set to report earnings after the market closes. What if it gaps up 20%? She misses out on that. But also, what if it drops 20 or 30%? She also doesn't have to partake in that. So maybe for her, it's just a safer way to play it, because it's up already so much. So instead of giving all of that back and then some, then maybe just playing it safe, locking in profits. And even if it does gap up, it's not a missed opportunity, as she's already made, a nice 100% return as she's been buying since, last year up until this year. So just wanted to share that with you. Wanted to see what you guys thought. And again, they report today after the market closes. Be cautious, be careful. Again, one of the safest ways to play earnings is to not have an open position during earnings. You can always wait to trade the reaction after. It's a much more boring way to approach it, but it's a much more safer way. And again, I love to say, share these safer ways to approach the market, especially for our complete beginners. I'd love to invite you to my live trading session tomorrow. If you guys want to tune on in, it's the second link in the description down below if you want a 50% discount. And that's linked down in the description down below. So I appreciate your time. Hope that earned a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comment section what you think Cathie Woods knows that we don't, or what you think Coinbase is going to come in at versus market's expectation. I appreciate your time. Don't forget to subscribe. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.